Hello everyone, and welcome to the first edition of videos of my Stitcher game, August. I am Ab, and this is my channel Starflight Creations here on FlossTube. So just in case you're just seeing this for the first time and you're wondering what August is, it is a game I created to get some community involvement and have some fun. August 15th will be my 1-year anniversary of being on FlossTube, and I wanted to, community was why I got into FlossTube to begin with, so I kind of wanted to do something that involved the community. And I also had been seeing a lot of the stitching games going around, the Big Brother stitching, the World Cup stitching, the Great British Baking Show stitching, and either they all came at a time where I was way too busy with other things to get involved, or it was just on things like the World Cup where I didn't want to spend that much time watching a bunch of things just that way I could do stitching on it. So I decided to do a game where I did brackets of that involved the community. So I put together a list of all my whips, and then I let people decide a project to sponsor on, and then everybody put in stitches on yesterday on the 1st of August. So we had 5,840 stitches put in yesterday on their various projects. So I made a bracket of all of the people, and so we had 12 people, which wasn't the 16 that I originally wanted, but it was also a lot more than I thought I was going to get, just because by the time I kind of worked out what I wanted to do and everything, it was really last minute, and so I was really excited to actually get that many people and really involve the community. So I took everybody and put them into a spin the wheel program in order of as people had joined in. That was the order they got put in, and then I spun, and everybody got dropped into their brackets, and then they got matched up with a different person. So now we have out of the 12 people, out of the 12 people, 6 people have been dropped, and so now we have 6 people going into round 2. So our 6 people who made it into round 2 were, actually, first of all, I'm going to go down all of the 12 people who decided to sponsor a project. So I started off with myself, and then my friend Debbie, the Naughty Witch, joined. Then my friend Lori from Passing Time Creations joined. Then Natasha from Wanderlust fame joined. Q-Snap Side Quest, Britto Threads, Sunshine, Argyle 92, Harpy Stitched, Moon Phased, Rise, who's Ashley Stitches on FlossTube and Rise Stitches on Twitch, and then Cat. So first of all, it was Rise and then Britto Threads, and so Rise had put in 1,765 stitches, and Britto had put in 44 stitches. So Rise moved on to round 2. Then we had Harpy Stitches, who put in 414 stitches. versus Q-Snap Side Quest, who had put in 300. So Harpy Stitches moved into round 2. And then we had myself, Starflight Creations versus Sunshine. I had put in 163, and Sunshine had put in 330, so Sunshine moved on. And then since we didn't have the full 16 people, I just put anybody who got into the bottom bracket moved on to round 3. So Sunshine moved on to round 3. And on the other side, we had Algar 92 with 298 stitches, and Passing Time Creations with 510 stitches. So Passing Time moved on to round 2. Then we had Cat with 617 stitches versus Moonface with 577. So that was probably one of our closest races, but Cat moved on to round 2. And then we had Naughty Witch with 153 stitches and Natasha with 302. So Natasha moved on, and since she was on the bottom bracket, she's moved on to round 3. So, let's see if I can't do this properly. So first of all, we have Rise. And Rise, actually, I have everything here in a different order, so I'm not going to do that. So instead, I'm now going to show you the projects. So the first one is the one I'm working on. This is a project I'm making for Natasha that we are switching projects for. So I started this yesterday on the 1st of August. This is a motion bottle that from the Witchy Stitcher. That's what it will look like when it is finished. So I put in my 163 stitches, and then I put in the 100 stitches that each project was gained for being nominated. And so all total, I actually put in 410 stitches because I worked on it during breaks and lunches last night at work. And so it is now up to there. So this is now out of the running, and will not be gaining any more stitches until either my August stitching is done, or if I use it some more at work. I've already decided I'm going to do the game again in January for my birthday, and hopefully then I can have a little bit more time to stitch, because I'm planning to be a little bit better prepared next time, and to not be trying to still find people and do admin work in the background on the day I should be stitching. So next time maybe I won't be knocked out in the first round. So then the next one, which my friend Debbie sponsored, was Living Room Set Number 2 by Alina Latsova. This is what it will look like when it is finished. This one is pretty close to being finished, less than 5,000 stitches to go. And here's what it looks like. So this one will get, sadly, only 100 stitches. I was really hoping that this was going to be one of the ones that went really far, so I get it really close to a finish. But it will get its 100 stitches this week. Okay, and next, my friend from Passing Time Creations sponsored Hogwarts by Dark X Stitch. This is what it will look like when it is done. And so this one did move on to round 2. So it will be getting 100 stitches this week and 200 stitches next week. And so here's where it's at currently. So it will be getting 300 stitches over the next 2 weeks. And so that will get us some good progress on that, and we'll see if she can't move forward into round 3. Alright, and then my friend Natasia chose to sponsor Nostalgic Tarot Frame, which I have to admit was not the project that I would have thought that she would sponsor. I don't know why. I thought one of the other ones would catch her eye first. But as this one has moved its way up to round 3, because she's unopposed for round 2, this one will be getting 600 stitches into it. First of all, here's what it will look like when it is done. So this is the frame plus all of the cards, and here is where it is now. So this one will get 600 stitches in it, and I'm really hoping that 600 stitches will finish off that first card there, the Fool, and then I can move back to doing some more on the frame. And to think that Natasha thought that she'd get knocked out in the first round with me. And then the next one, Q-Snap Side Quests, chose to sponsor Museum After Midnight, and so this is the current style being hosted by Lola Crow Studios. This is what it looks like currently, but this is only up to Exhibit 7. No, actually, I think this picture is only up to Exhibit 6. But they have currently released out to Exhibit 7. So this is where I am currently at, and so this one will get another 100 stitches. Again, this was one of the ones I was really hoping would go far to get me to put a bunch of stitches into it and get caught up. Unfortunately, it did not, so but it will definitely get its 100 stitches. Okay, and then the next one was Brito Threads. And Brito Threads choose to sponsor the Animal Crossing Stitch Along. This is what it will look like when it is done. And I was trying to figure out which way is up. I think it's like this. So this is where I have it now. And again, I was really hoping that this one would get a lot of stitches into it, since this is my oldest project, and so I would get a bunch of extra points for the RPG Character Creation Challenge by Michael Bubler Stitches for putting, but I think I have to get like 500 stitches into it, and sadly this first one will only get 100, so I will have to put in some extra stitches on my own if I want to get those extra points. Alright. So then we went to Sunshine, and so she chose to sponsor Acorns and Friends. So that is what it will look like when it is finished. This is by Lola Crow, and here is where it's at currently. So since this did get to the third round, this will get 600 stitches put into it over the next 3 weeks, and then we'll see whether or not she can battle her way into it's called the quarterfinals, and see if we can keep getting some more into it. And her post to me, she was like, I can't wait to see what this looks like when it's done. I do believe that this one has like another 20,000 stitches to go, so yeah, you'll be watching me for a while to see that when it's done. But I would like to get some of the stitches in there and maybe complete one of the animals. So that will be one of the things that I looked at doing, is making sure I have pulled all of the floss necessary to it, so that way I can just work on an animal. Let me know in the comments whether or not I should finish out the raccoon or the skunk. So we can put Jimothy for raccoon or Flower for the skunk, and so let me know which one you feel I should focus my 600 stitches on and try and get complete. Okay, and so then that brings us to Gargoyle 92, and she chose to sponsor a magic book. This is by Sacred Thread Designs off of Etsy. This was another one that I kind of wanted to get a lot of stitches in, just because it's really easy to stitch on. But again, this one is just going to get 100 stitches, because it only got to the first round, which seems to have been my luck with this. All the ones I really wanted to work on got knocked out. Alright, and then we go to Harpy Stitch, which she chose to sponsor the Wandering in Middle Earth, which was the 2024 SAL by Stuart Cunningham. I don't have a picture of what it'll look like, because everybody's looks like it's different, because it's a choose your own adventure. She chose to sponsor this because it's in her her want to stitch list, and so I am actually really hoping that this one goes far. I think she just got to round 2, so this one will be getting 300 stitches put into it. But I'm really hoping that this one will go really far, because I have signed up for the online virtual retreat from Cross Stitch Society, Fellowship of the Floss, which is going to happen at the end of the month, and so it'd be really nice to kind of have this one pushed really far into that. So that way when I go to do stitching on that, I'm, further along. But she is up against Rise next time. So, unless she manages to, pull a miracle out, if Rise gets the same kind of stitches that she does again, I don't think it's going to go there. I'm like, no diss to Harpy Stitches. I just know that she's a teacher who has another job, plus she's doing studies for her schools, so she's got a lot of stuff going on. So I was really happy that she got as many stitches as she did yesterday. Rise seems to be blowing things out of the park with her numbers. And so then we move on to Moonfaced. And so Moonfaced chose to sponsor The Reader by the Primitive Hair. And yes, and so Moonfaced did get knocked out into this round, so this one will just get 100 stitches, which I was kind of hoping that this one would get a little bit more, just because it's a smaller piece, and so it'd be easier for me to take to work and do breaks and lunches and whatnot, to try and get some more stitches into it. But, the game is what the game is. And then we got to Rise with her amazing 1,765 stitches. And so she things are falling over. Okay. She chose to sponsor Happiness. And so this one made it to round 2. Yes. And so this one will get 300 stitches put into it. And here is where it's at now. So this one will be one that will be easy and nice to take to work, so that will be good. It is nice to have a couple of those in there, other than the really big projects I need to be at home to work on. And then the last one was Kat. Kat put 617 stitches in, and she did make it to round 2, so her project would get 300 stitches. I'm just going to check my phone really fast and make sure I didn't get a notice from her, but no, I still have not received a project from her, so I am using my executive decision to choose Year of the Dragon for her, just because I need to get some more stitches in on this. So I will be putting 300 stitches into that, and so here is where it's at now. Just a sad little top start there in the corner, and so I want to try and maneuver this one out of the black. So that will take a lot of stitching to do, so I'm glad that at least I'll get 300 stitches to try and move it along. So the next time that I will be posting a video will be Saturday. Oh no, it'll be Sunday the 9th, because Saturday the 8th I will have them all give me the stitch counts for round 2, and we'll see who moves on to round 3. Yes. And so, and then the top 3 people from round 3 will, because like from round 3 it'll go into the finals, and so the final 2 people will go in there. So the top 3 people in round 3 I know will be the people who will win the prizes, because second and third will receive a padfolio created by me, and first place will receive a padfolio and a project bag. So I know that the top 3 of round 3 will be getting prizes, so we'll see who all makes it into that list. So I will be back on the 9th, as I said, with an update with all of the stitching that I put into these projects, and an update to show who is on round 3. I thank everybody for all of the comments on and likes on my Instagram and FlossTube, and please return on the 8th to see who makes it into the next round. And just one final thing, I'd like to do a nice shout out to Natasha. The last couple of days she's used her Twitch stream to really talk up my game, so that way we can get the last few people in there, and so I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye.